Hi there guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at the gradient fill within FlexiPRINT. But before that, let's have a quick intro first. So today's video can be found on softwaretraining.co.za. We make short and easy to watch problem solving videos, and we also have daily updates. Otherwise, we're into the program here. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, today we're going to be looking at the gradient fill. So we've covered the solid and the pattern. So if I had to go here on our fill and stroke editor, I'm going to select a shape. So we're going to make the right one. The left one will just be a reference of the default. Then from our first tab here, fill, I'm going to select this drop down menu and go to gradient fill. If I select this, you'll see we have quite a few options. It could be a bit intimidating, but we'll quickly run through them. Now, right off the bat on top here, the first one is our default preset, you can say. You can see we've got your blue lid, bullseye, and so forth. So we can use these as a good way to start if we want it. Let's start maybe with the blue lid. And then to the right of that, we have the gradient type. So we have like a radial, we've got like a basic gradient fade and a few different other options. So let's leave this at the actual, the one it was on. To the right of that, we have our color modes. So at the moment it's RGB, we have some CMYK and two others. And then to the right of that, to the furthest is the edit gradient. So let's say we want this radial to be in the center. Then we can click that button. And you can see here it opens up some editing dialogues. So I can click this point, move it more to the center, and then when I release it, it will update. And now we can see our gradients in the center. We have a fade as well we can use here. So how intense we want the fade to be. And then the far right, let's just go back to that. We can adjust this one for the actual radius of the outer circle. Now likewise, if we had to change this, let's just select another preset, maybe this underwater. Then we have the same control here if we have our actual edit gradient selected. So we can drag the first point where we want it to start, and then the second point where we want it to end, and it will do a gradient between those 2 points. Now let's say I want to horizontal or vertically have a gradient. Then if I select the 1 point, keep shift in, and then you'll see it will now snap as in 45-degree angles. So I can pull it there, release, and then we have a nice gradient across. But I think for the sake of look, I'm just gonna add one of these gradients or these gradients so it looks a bit more nice. And then under that we have the rotation. So now if we don't edit the gradient, we can simply use this and it will adjust the rotation for us. So if you need a specific amount of rotation, you can do that. And under that we can see our basic gradient. We've got our left color, our right color, and then the in-between faders, so we can adjust this accordingly. Then we can also go to advanced, and this is where we have a little bit more control over what we do. So if I open this, see we have a few options here. So first of all, we have the name. So if you plan on adding this to our swatch table, you can add a custom name here, which can be nice. Let's just make this maybe fire for now. Then we have all those other settings which we looked at earlier, which we can adjust here, but I'm just going to leave that at default. We already covered them. Then some important things is here we've got the swatch table again, but we also have the colors now. So we can first of all switch the default preset. I'm going to leave that on what it is, and then we've got the color under that. Now it is important to note whichever node you've selected here, it will update the color there. So if I select the furthest right one, you'll see it changes to dark blue. Then I can simply click this one, and then let's maybe make that red, and then when I fade it to yellow, and then we can have these ones and maybe throw like in-betweeners, or if we've added custom color palettes, we can do that. But for now, I'm just going to go red and make this one yellow as well. And then what I'll do is I'm simply going to click these ones and drag them far left and far right. So now if I had to click OK, it will update it, and there you can see we've got our fiery gradient. Now if we want to save this as a preset, we can edit, we'll go to advanced, then we'll see here we've got the add to swatch table. So now if I had to click that and say OK, then it's going to add it there to the bottom. There you can see we've got our fiery gradient on our swatch table. Very handy. Now same as with the pattern, if we go advanced, we also have this one transform with object. So I'm not going to run through it, but I'll just quick recap again. So with this selected, if I scale the cube, let's do it. Okay, so I've got it selected. So if we scale this cube, then the gradient will stay with that and adjust and scale with it. So let's make a duplicate of this one. Wait for the program to load. Now if I go here to edit advanced again, I'm going to select that off, transform with object, say okay. Now if I scale this, our gradient is going to stand still where it was and the object is going to change. So depending on the outcome you're looking for, this could be handy. The default is normally the most useful for me, but there is rare cases where you need to do this. You can obviously afterwards go and edit the gradient again and adjust it if you need to. If you maybe made a mistake or you want to readjust, you can do that as well. But yeah, otherwise that is it on the gradient. Very handy for designs. But yeah, in the meanwhile, if we head here to softwaretraining.co.za, you guys will notice we've got a variety of different softwares we do cover, and you can also isolate your search on the top right. If you do not, however, find the training videos you're looking for, just simply go here, request a training video, fill in the mini form, and then we'll do our best to try and make that for you. But otherwise, thanks guys for watching, and cheers.